video.
Welcome to the Community Coalition Show. It's your hosts, David 2K and Kev Wilson. And let me tell you, it's a very special week. Stay tuned.
Why'd you whisper that?
I have no idea.
Yo, was it the Halloween edition? That was okay. A little creepy.
Oh, or it's the ASMR edition, whichever one. Hey man, we need to branch out. Apparently, we need to branch out.
Well, I'm on such a real high, personal high this week. It's whatever, man. Like Dave said, this is a community coalition show. K Wilson, David 2K. If you didn't hear him,
Good.
Like a yin yang twin, but it's okay though. What's going on?
Wow! I almost started singing the song, and then I was like, "What? Well, nope, you can't do that."
You got to be more awkward. Oh man, you know what? We're having fun today, y'all. This is
Absolutely.
This is an exciting week. I am excited.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah. For those who don't know, this week actually.
Oh snap! I forgot the blazer. I'll be back. Keep going.
You forgot the what?
I forgot the blazer.
The blazer. Okay.
Blazer.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where David is going, but all right. But for those who don't know, he just straight bounced. Okay. This is the 2-year anniversary of the Community Coalition Show. Actually, this Thursday will be the 2-year anniversary Community Coalition Show. I don't know what David is doing, but we're gonna rock with it though. He's like a wardrobe change over there. For those who don't watch, if you're watching on YouTube, yeah, there's a lot going on right now. But my man just got suited and booted real quick off the random. But we in there though. Okay, now I feel underdressed.
It's good.
I'm underdressed though. Like, okay.
Hey man, it's anniversary week.
It is anniversary week, but I also got my Steelers shirt on too, because right now.
Yep.
6-0.
Y'all are undefeated.
I had to pull that out. But yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Are you guys still undefeated?
Oh yeah, we won yesterday.
Yeah. Talk that talk.
Only undefeated team right now in the league. But I ain't bragging though, because once you start doing that, there's like 3-game losing. So
yeah, when that happens, like next game, 20-0.
I know.
In the first minute. What? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. So I'm trying real hard not to like gloat and talk trash, especially online.
Right.
Ravens fans and stuff like that. I've really been trying to chill. But yeah.
Yeah, because all of this lives forever.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, let me not get too excited. So I'm like between that and this, like Monday's been a good day. So
it's been a good day.
Been a good day, man. It's gonna be a good week too. Man, so it's been 2 years. Thursday will be 2 years of the Community Coalition Show.
Yes.
I don't like, so I'm real excited about this week. And I know why, but I don't know why.
Right. Like, but as you should. You started this. Like you started this movement.
Yeah, but like
I don't think you understand. Like you started a whole platform.
I probably don't, because when I started this in like I really, I had no idea it was going to be here, and there's still so much more room. There's a lot going on, but,
right.
But I guess it's creation, as a creator, and I've created other things, but like I've done other things, but this one, I don't know, it feels really special. And I don't know if it was because last year, I felt like we kind of just breezed over it. It was like, here, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, so we didn't really do anything. It wasn't a big hoopla.
Right.
I don't know if it's just because like this year has been so crazy, and I had time to really digest 2 years. Like, so really the weekend is when it started to hit me. So what I did was I went back and started pulling up audio episodes, pulling out information. What have we done in 2 years? And I had to go back and I was like, wow, there's been some things happening, This show has touched on this show has been through a lot of change. So I started taking notes. I started jotting stuff down. So if y'all see me looking over here, I'm actually looking at my other laptop that I started taking notes on. And I was like, you know what, for today, because I know we got a lot of new fans. We've changed platforms a lot. It's been a lot. I really wanted to go back and just reminisce. I wanted to touch on things. There's a lot of things I wanted to say. There's a lot of people that's been around. And so I really wanted to touch on that this week because we didn't do it last week. And this week, I guess I don't know if I've been in since the pandemic, you have a lot of time to think. And it's been like reflection mode,
Absolutely.
So as I went through this,
might be a little too much time to think.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So let me tell you, as I was going through this, I'm like getting emotional. Look, full disclosure, I ain't afraid to cry, whatever.
Hey man, hey, you deserve to cry. You started a whole network.
But you know what? You do too. You was here. I'm gonna try to make you. Let me start to make you cry tonight.
Oh, you're not gonna get me.
Nah, son.
There's something in my eye.
But I was like, you know what? Let's go in. I honestly don't care how long this takes.
Right. Let's do it. I'm here for it.
So y'all, if y'all expecting an hour, it might go longer than an hour. I don't know. And at this point, I don't really care. But I really felt like it was important to do this because, like I said, there were people that were with us day one. There are people that picked up halfway along the way. And through all the revolving changes, there's some new people now. So I wanted to dig in, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go back to the beginning. And I don't know if a lot of fans remember the early years. 2 years ago, early years, long time ago.
Man.
But
what's crazy is that I even remember some of the early years.
Yeah. I'm going back to the beginning, the roots of the show, and actually the show had a different name. The show was called the Tyrone Coles Community Coalition Show, right? The show actually spawned about from a guy I knew who, amazing dude named Tyrone Coles, right? I heard the story on the first episode. But I'm gonna share it again before I go on anything else because I feel like it's the most important. Tyrone Cole was a community guy. He was a guy in the streets. He was a guy that people saw a different way. And I'm gonna be honest, they kind of saw him. He might have been a dude that you might have thought was a crackhead or something, He lived in the DC area. He bounced around this area. I had the chance to know him and work with him on. He was a guy who was around, and I worked with a nonprofit through some of my other ventures, and I got to know this guy. And if you knew him, like I said, when you first looked at him, you just thought like, who this guy, kind of looked like neighborhood guy, like he hang out in the corner of the street, older guy. But his personality,
like one of those dudes hang around outside of 7-Eleven.
Like people might even thought he was like back in the day, they probably would have called him like a wino or something like that, right? And I'm not down in my man because he passed away, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I appreciate this man so much.
Absolutely. Me too.
And for a couple of reasons. One, his personality was infectious. I've seen this man in rooms with people you wouldn't believe because of what we did and who we were around. I'm talking about from businessmen to corporate CEOs to multimillionaires to basketball coaches, some of them who coach the NBA and stuff, right? And a lot of things we did, and everyone loved this man. He treated you the same no matter who you were, right?
Right.
Personality. He was a trash talker. He was brash. But he showed love for it. It was never negative. It was never evil. He just had that personality, and people gravitated to him. For that reason. Also, I will tell you too, because of how he looked, and no one really knew. And I'll tell you, this man, he passed away. That was September 2018. And I remember passing away. I remember being sad. And I remember the funeral. And I remember the funeral, which you wouldn't expect. I remember going, and we thinking, it's a couple of close friends, family. Like when I tell you, the place was busy. Funeral, people there, people from the community,
people he helped,
but no one knew until the funeral. People started to get up and speak about it. And when they spoke about him, they started telling all the things he did in the community that people had no idea that he even took part of that. He was even around. They didn't know. No one knew. So we didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was helping people in the community. I remember the cop got up and he talked about how Tyrone would help squash neighborhood beefs with the young boys, and the cops would go to him and be like, "Yo, we can't handle this," and he would go because he cared about the people in the community, cared about the young boys. He
Right.
would go hold them down. He would go talk to them. The business
Mhm.
owners would say he would come in, he would look out for them, and he helped them. All these people in the community started talking, and no one had any idea how impactful this man was to his community. And
Right.
I remember the goosebumps. I'm kind of feeling them now too,
Mm.
because this is a man. Like I said, if you when first sight, you wouldn't think this of this man. You would have probably written him off.
Mm-hmm.
And this man had the most profound impact on his community, direct impact. And so after that, the people who knew him, we came together. We said, "This is amazing." We were mind blown.
Mm-hmm.
The people in the community said, "How do we continue his legacy? We got to honor this man, the unsung hero of this community."
Absolutely.
There was a lot of initiatives that were started. We tried to do our own things. And one of the things I did, I said, well, we can create a platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so inspired. I said, how do we find the other Tyrone Coleses of our community? How do we identify?
Right.
How do we tell their story? How can we help them? What we shouldn't wait. Like we always talk about, don't wait till people are gone to give them their roses and things like
Right.
that. So how can we do this now? So my brainchild was to start this platform, this podcast, in his name, his honor, to continue that mission. And the mission of this podcast, this show, has always been identify the unsung people of the community, highlight what they're doing,
Right.
promote them, talk about these things in our community, have these conversations. How can we educate? How can we continue this legacy? That's how the show started.
Right.
Almost the first, probably almost year, less than a year or so, this was the Tyrone Coles Community Coalition show in his name. Even though we rebranded later and we just became the Community Coalition show, that mission, his legacy never left. And even till today, it's one of the reasons we keep doing this. We never wanted to be, I never wanted this to be a news show. I never wanted this to be current events. I never wanted this to have, this is a mission-based show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this was about, right? That's how this show started. So I wanted to start there first, because even as we're going on in year 2, we're still on that mission.
Absolutely.
Everything we do, that the focus is that. And we have topics, we talk. Sometimes we have fun. We created a whole platform around it, but that's still the root of this, right? I'll never forget that. So even going back to that, even finding the old logo on my hard drive, I was like,
oh wow.
Like going back, I was like, man, I remember making this, like, and I was proud of that. And I'm probably gonna post it later this week.
Yeah, I was about to say you should put that on. You should put that on this week's episode.
I remember that first Monday night, and that was the first show, just talking about that. A lot of the stuff I said that first show. I didn't know where it was gonna go, but I was just like, yo, we just gonna do it. We're gonna keep it going for Tyrone. That was the whole thing. Keep it going for Tyrone.
Gotcha.
So 2 years in, even though we went through a lot, I'm still proud that we're doing this for Tyrone.
Me too.
Not for us. This is for the community. This is for the legacy.
Absolutely.
And it's also, for me, it's kind of personal, because I've always been a man that, like, how do we really help people? Pull away the glitz and the glamour and all that stuff. Like, what are we really doing for people? When nobody else is watching, what are you doing? And to me, that was Tyrone. He didn't care. He didn't care what he looked like. He didn't care what people thought. If you needed something, and his limited resources, he held you down.
Right.
So that's, to me, it's one of the things that I carry with me. Even in my career, my personal life, I don't care about all that. Try and hold you down. And that's what this is about. And so even as the show has gone on, I can really say that we've done our best to try to hold people down. We brought people on.
Absolutely.
Try to, educate people. Try to, what people have going on, we try to share and promote those things, hold people down on top of
Right.
So, that's where we are, right? That's where we started, I should say. So,
Absolutely.
man, so that was the beginnings. So we started on Blog Talk Radio.
Mm.
Oh, Blog.
Man, Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk.
I forgot about that.
That was the first platform.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on there because it was supposed to be easy to get out. And we did a live show on Blog Talk Radio that I record and put out later as a podcast.
Yep, I remember.
And one of the good things about Blog Talk Radio is that you could have callers come on. And
I already know where you're going with this.
Oh man, early shows, people would call in and they would go in. And
yeah, I remember some of these calls too.
Some of them calls, and we had some rants, and it was hard to get people off because people got to talk. We're like, yo, that ain't even a topic. People would just. Some people wanted to be.
People need to unload.
Yeah. People wanted to be heard so much that they just got. So sometimes I remember like it was a board, and I would see numbers flashing up, and I'm like, I can't answer that because I already know if I put this person on, 10 minutes
they're gonna. Yep.
So that was exciting though. That was fun, and the issue with Blog Talk Radio is that we lost some episodes. I remember we recorded, and the conversion from the time we finished recording to converting it to what was it? I think it was an MP4 file, something like that, MP3, MP4 file.
Oh dang!
So we could use it later because we did live, and once we finished, it would convert it, and then we could save it. I lost 2 or 3 episodes in that conversion. Dang. I remember a couple of them. I remember that first episode with Miss Tori, gone. We had to bring her back on stuff like so. I was like, this is crazy, and we're paying for this. And that joint, the podcast world, it wasn't the cheapest, right? So I'm like, the platform, I'm losing data. I have no shows. There were weeks we didn't put out a show. If we didn't catch it live, that was it.
Right.
I was like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here, man. So I remember that. Then that's where the journey began. We SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud is good. SoundCloud is good.
SoundCloud is solid.
Storage when you're doing podcasts, I learned real quick gets expensive.
Right. Yeah.
Another thing to put up.
It does.
60-minute podcasts every week. Actually,
and God forbid you're an artist that has massive amounts of work.
Yeah, if you put up albums, it gets pricey. But SoundCloud work. I ain't mad at SoundCloud. Actually, y'all, there's still some episodes on SoundCloud, and that's how I found something. I went and searched Community Coalition Show on SoundCloud. There's a couple of them up, a couple of my favorites up there too. Actually,
shouts to SoundCloud, man.
Shouts to SoundCloud. I ain't mad at SoundCloud. We just had to
San Francisco. Gang.
And I wanted to get on other platforms too. So it was like, how can we convert to get on all the platforms, the Spotify, the Apple, the Google. So eventually we did find Simplecast, which we now with Simplecast hosts our website. They send the feed directly to all the streaming platforms. So, the website stuff, if you go to communitycoalition.com, that's powered by Simplecast. So we went through transition. There. We've lost some episodes in the transition, like even now.
It happens.
2 hard drives. I lost some,
Man.
But they're I found bits and pieces. I found majority of them. All this crazy stuff. IG Live.
Yeah.
Days before
that. I kind of missed IG Live.
I missed it too. Even through all the lagging and stuff, like we would sit talking on IG Live.
I mean, how do you learn if you don't have lag?
Especially nowadays, you can't get around it. Especially if you're trying to do a live show. Remember that was so important to us to do a live show. Record. We were still trying to get on IG Live. Those are fun. Get that interaction too. That was fun.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I can't wait till we're able to get back outside again. We're able to get back together. We're going back. We're going to do that again.
Right.
We
got to.
Yeah, we have to. We did IG Live, and then the social media stuff. We've changed social
Yep.
media platforms several times.
Yes, we have.
Remember, for a long time, I think so. I had to go back and think. I was like, it was on my personal social media stuff. I was advertising it through mine.
Right.
And then I was like, this is getting to the point where it needs its own entity. And that was about the time of the rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
Rebranding. We went through a whole so this podcast has gone through two rebrandings actually. The first we converted from Tyrone Coles to this community coalition show, and then we actually got real professional help. From
Shouts to Dots, man.
Dots, man. And Dots, I hope you're listening or I hope you're watching. Because
shouts to you, bro.
Yeah, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
That process and the ongoing process as well too. If y'all don't know Dots is like a digital marketing guru. He's an expert. He's a pro at this stuff.
Yep, it's the big bro, man. Known him for so long.
And he was able to take us really to where we were and to get us in a mindset. Because like for me, even at that point, and that was what, early summer we did this.
Yeah.
And even at that point, the show was still kind of like something we do. It's cool. Still kind of like a hobby. And even for me, it was always kind of like the side thing. And even, I mean, I do other things now, but that's really got to thinking like, no, you need to keep, this is an entity. You treat it like an entity. And so that's what we really made the shift to on social media, all those things. That was about the same time.
Started being a little more active.
Yeah. I had to like put strategy to how we do this. You know, if we really want to, and it was really about, you know, if we really want to maximize what we're doing.
Right. We had to create a plan.
Yeah, let's be intentional about it, you know. So we came up with the new branding, the new logos, that process, man, figuring that stuff out, man. That was fun. Especially in early COVID times, you know, like it gave some direction because there's a lot like with this, you know. So all that stuff. And then I can't go through all that without mentioning Black Squirrel Media Network.
Hey, gang.
Man. So converting, you know, community coalition show. If y'all don't know Black Squirrel Media Network, from our company Black Squirrel Media, we created a whole network for Black digital content creators. You know, give them a home, give them a hub, support, things like that. And again, we started that process. That was like what, June-ish. Getting that off the ground. The community coalition show became the flagship show for the media network, which you know, other podcasts and YouTube channels and creators and influencers, you know, things like that. So taking that step to that whole mindset of this show, you know, there's purpose to it. And that was different. So I don't know if y'all listening, watching that, but this became more intentional. Another thing I have to throw out there is that remember we started this, we were recording every other week at first. It was every other Monday. Because again, I didn't know where it was going. I didn't want to put a lot on my plate, to be honest, at that time. I wanted to do something, but I had other stuff going on. And I remember choosing Monday night. So I was like, it's probably the least busiest night of the week for me. You know, I can record, I can get peace and quiet, which, I don't know. But, you know, started every...
Hey, shout out to the family.
Shout out to the fam. You know, that's another recording at home. If y'all don't understand, if y'all don't record at home with fam and kids, different, man.
Like y'all. I mean, everyone knows now because it's quarantine. So now you gotta have all these. You gotta have all your Zoom meetings.
Yeah,
and you gotta lock your door.
And this is no different, y'all. This is no different.
Yeah,
record this thing at 9:00 at night on Monday night.
And is your door locked?
Nah, everybody sleep. That's the reason, you know. I mean, at this point, like if you busting in, you just gonna bust in at this point. Like this is gonna be part of the show. We're gonna make it work. No.
Or we're gonna make you part of the show.
Yeah. It'd be like,
oh, hey, man, what's up? How are you? Welcome to the Community Coalition Show.
Yeah. What you got to say?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna. It's good. I feel like it's gonna happen eventually.
At
So,
some point. I'm surprised it hasn't already, honestly. But
right.
that's another thing too. Doing something like this, like this is an
Mm-hmm.
undertaking. This takes planning. This takes scheduling. First it was just
Mm-hmm.
me and my schedule. Once you became one, it was like, oh, we got to coordinate this, and then our
Mm-hmm.
whole lives we have to coordinate this.
Right.
Pandemic came, like, this has been.
Now we're on Zoom.
I know Rona was like, "Nah, you on my time now." Where to be like, "You right, Rona? Like, you tell us when to move." Like, so it's been.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Rona. Let me adjust to your schedule.
yeah, let me take my ass back in the house. Okay, all right, you got it.
Let me wear this mask.
Yeah, put his mask. Like it's been fun. All this stuff, man. And then
It's been crazy.
yeah, and then so I'm gonna put in there. I'm looking at all this is all the stuff I was going through. Like this is all like the history, and then because again, remember it was just me at first. You came. So I remember. Okay, backstory. David, right?
Yo.
Let's go back. Let's go back before. Do you remember? How many? You remember the first conversation we had? Probably like at church.
I think so. Yeah. Like I think. Okay, so I think. I mean, honestly, I met you through Grace.
Yes, and again,
so you were really cool. Like I wanted to talk to you. Like you were doing all this stuff. You seemed like a really cool guy. So I just wanted to be like, oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
And we just like became friends like that.
Yeah. I don't remember how it happened. We just clicked. And I just remember like, yo,
yeah,
come through, be on the show. And I remember at the time you were still in school. You were still on the West Coast. So I remember you came home for break. So I remember, so your first appearance on the show was actually episode 5. I did find
wow.
That was January 8th, 2019.
Wow.
So
that seems crazy. I was on episode 5?
5, yeah.
Dang.
I know. We only did, I think technically it was 6, but we lost, remember, because we lost one to Blog Talk, so it ended up being like 5. It was something,
right.
Yeah, something stupid. Right? But it was early. I mean, we just talked and we just rapped about you, things like that. And then remember you were home. Right. So it was like, well, you're here, just come through,
Yeah.
And we still had other guests.
And we had planned to that.
Yeah, yeah. And that was fun. And then remember you went back to school on the West Coast. So again, I was doing my thing. I think, did you call in a couple times? I remember because we were still
I did.
But yeah.
I think we did. I think I did call in one time and I was like I think we like just spoke for like the whole show.
Yeah. So it was like, you were still around. And I remember it wasn't until you came back home for good. I think it was like that late spring 2019, something like that.
Something like that.
I remember you home and I was like, well, since you're here, come on, get down,
Yeah.
And it was just like from there, which in my opinion, man, made a huge difference. Because I
appreciate that.
I mean, one, we work well together,
We do.
For those who don't know, like this is us all the time.
Honestly, my big sister, she gets annoyed of us.
Yeah.
Like she'll hear us talking, she'll just be like,
they be hating on our friendship, man. They be hating. Don't hate on your friend.
They're jealous.
Yeah, they be mad. But this is really us. This is how we talk. This is how we kick it. Like, so to do the show, it was a no-brainer. Like, we're gonna share what we normally talk about, what we do, So there's not effort there at all, which makes it easier. And also, to be honest, it's easy for me because I don't have to shoulder the load all the time. To be honest, I don't know if I had to. I don't know if the show would have survived at times. With other stuff going on, so it was like, this kind of, and it worked. It clicked to have two people.
Right.
We can share. We can bounce ideas. Because I remember the early episodes when it was just me. I remember I'd just be sitting there with an agenda, I'm talking, and I'm like, I felt like, is this right? Is this cool? Like, am I,
Right.
people enjoying this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I felt like a jerk. Like, I felt like I was just a talking head, like a loudmouth.
Mm-hmm.
So at least to have two of us is not just me getting in trouble.
Hey man, let me take some of it. Let me take some of the blame. Give it some.
We here. We in this together,
Yep.
So that was fun. So that really took us, you know,
To the next level.
yeah, yeah. So we put all that together. Here we are. And
Yes,
then,
we are.
yeah. So like, and I feel like I'm probably missing stuff too. Like
Oh, absolutely.
it's been, like I said, those changes actually, because to be honest, sometimes they did hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Changing flat platforms. We lost some viewers if they weren't able to find us.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Blog Talk Radio really gave us like some older audience,
Mm-hmm.
and I know when we left Blog Talk, we lost some of that.
Yep.
Which it sucks. Like
we we kind of sound like Joe Budden, like leaving Spotify.
yeah, but we didn't get kicked out. It's just that,
and we didn't get paid. So
yeah. So like, we had to do what's best for the show, but I knew some of those, especially some of them dudes who were calling in and stuff, like
mm-hmm.
they were finding us because of the platform,
right?
And then they would chime in because of the platform. So I knew once we made that switch, I knew we were going to lose some of that. We did.
Yeah.
We bounced back, and once we, SoundCloud, again, the platform brings certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we went to Simplecast doesn't really have a built-in audience,
Right.
So we kind of had to do it organically.
Yep.
Build it from the ground up. Even with like social media, we had to build it the social medias all over again. Even getting people from my personal pages to come over to Community Coalition show.
Yep.
Trying
to get my people to listen to the show. I mean, I got a few, and then like we started and then I brought my cousin Dots on to help us with the rebrand so that we can like gain even more. And we here.
Yeah, and it is growing. I look at the numbers. I don't look at them all the time. I try not to stay away from numbers, but I will tell you, it is growing. And the one thing is like there is a base. People do tune in, people do listen. And shout out to people who are,
right,
especially the people who keep coming back.
Y'all.
Like, we do. I do. And people who do get feedback and stuff like that, like I do appreciate that. But just know since we've been, really since the summer was where we're now like stable. And I feel like we finally have a home. And now we can be consistent in what we're doing. And since that consistency has started, we're here. It's cool. And I always said I never wanted numbers. I just want people to are we provoking thought? Are we helping people? Like we have somebody come on our show and they're sharing and they got something going on. I want them to be heard. I want them to be able to share and people see them and then be able to come back. That is happening. That is happening and that is growing.
Having people tell the story.
Yeah. But also having people listen, what people tell that story. And that's why I said like, so, sometimes I look at like social media numbers and stuff and I can tell you, I think there's people who listen that aren't even tuning into like following us on social media and stuff. And so to me, it's
what
like,
are you doing?
You know what? It's crazy to me because the numbers.
I wasn't asking you that. I'm asking people.
Yeah, but I
like,
and that's one thing. Like, I see it, but because it's on so many different platforms now, it's been hard to pinpoint. It's weird.
Right.
How social media works.
Oh, I think I know how it works, especially now that I've like since I started like consuming podcasts to like see where certain people how podcasters talk on certain platforms.
Yeah.
Like it's different people on different platforms.
It is. And then depending on the topic, how we push, day of the week, it's so weird. So it's it's steady in some, but in others, it's not. Like
Fluctuates.
yeah, Spotify and Apple, look at the numbers are so different.
Right.
Look at YouTube, it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's why I figured if nothing else, we just gonna put it out and people will find it. And however you find it is however you found it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I even
If
went
you're
back.
rocking with us, how you doing?
What's up? I'm yawning because I guess I'm like, oh
No, me too, bro. I am too.
I am. But even when I went back to SoundCloud, I was like, we ain't had as many people listening when we was here. So people have listened to old stuff
Oh,
recently. Yeah. Because I remember I'm looking at them like, this episode didn't have this when I left here. Because I haven't looked at SoundCloud literally probably a year, almost a year. I haven't looked at those numbers at all.
wow.
Like the last episode on SoundCloud is from January.
Mm.
So I haven't looked at SoundCloud since January.
Wow, that was when I came back.
Yeah. I haven't looked at it since like January. So like I was like, oh snap, okay. Like people, okay.
That's cool.
Episode from January, right? Like so all this stuff. So like that's why I said it's hard to like now I know for like the marketing and stuff like that, people want to know numbers, but I'm not gonna focus on that. And I know conventional wisdom and everything says don't do that. What the hell with it? So if y'all listening, if y'all rocking with us, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Even the people that don't agree with us.
Shouts to y'all on Facebook.
You know what, yo, and shout outs, man. And I'm not even mad at that either. Because we have had some spats. But I will say that was the goal. Provoke thought, right? Educate. And that means that not everybody
right. And we have conversations about it.
You have to have conversations. Even sometimes when it annoys me, I'm like, you know what though? But people are coming to have the conversation.
Right.
So I can't be mad at that. That's a byproduct. That's the goal. And I think that's one thing we all have to understand as a people too. Just because you're kicking knowledge, not everybody's going to agree with what you're saying. But that doesn't mean that we dismiss those people. And I had to catch myself a couple times too. Like, no, we're just different places. But let's use the platforms to see what let's have the conversation. And then if we agree that we may not get there, we may not, okay. But respect each other in the process. Yeah. So even for the folks, and I know there's one in particular, my guy, and I'm gonna tell him, my guy, we may not agree with everything, but I still respect you. You know who you are, fam. You know who you are. So all this stuff, it's been. But I wanted to say that, and I felt like it was important to say that because I know it's hard. And conversation, I was like, "Yo, who this? Like, nah, man, coming back like, nah." And I was really in my feelings at one point. Then it was like, "No, take a step back." Like, one kind of asked for this. I asked for this. So when you ask for something, even though it's not the way you wanted it, man up.
Yep. Got to deal with it.
There's teachable moments in that too. So I learned from that as well. So I learned from these things. I hope you are too. That's why I didn't delete the post. I left them up there. I left the conversation up there because maybe we can learn from these things. So if you get a chance, Facebook group, that stuff is there. That's where we get the static. Nowhere else. Yep. It's always Facebook. Especially when you're talking politics.
And then on Twitter, when you have either trash music takes like me, or when people aren't educated on certain topics, like me or like somebody else, and you try to help them understand what's going on, and then they just say, "You don't know what you're talking about. You're dumb."
Yeah, remember some of those?
Oh, it's like.
And once we posted, like, yo, who is this? Who is it, man? Like, why he look like going in on some crazy stuff? Like, I'm talking about people looking stuff, and I'm like, wait, that wasn't even what we talking about. But this is where we are with some people. And so I think even then we have to. That's why, not popping off, in the firm, cooler head. Let's educate. Let's talk. We have to be the example sometimes. We can't say these things. Like, I have to be a big believer. Like, can't preach this stuff. We can't say, no, we want to start a conversation, we want to provoke thought, and then pop off when people, don't agree with you. Don't work like that. Even, in Twitter. Don't even get me started on
Twitter. Twitter.
If it wasn't for us doing these podcasts, I would stay away from Twitter. But I have no choice.
Twitter is so funny, but at the same time, like, it's so trash.
I've got some of our topics from Twitter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But also, we gotta start talking about, like, the people that put up trash takes just to put up trash take, or just because they know that something is about to happen,
just for attention. Yeah.
Like, if you're somebody that says, oh yeah, this artist, they definitely write everything that they say. This person came out yesterday. How do you know that?
Yeah.
Plus, they have been. I was about to pop off on a record label, but I should not, because one, I have done that in the past, and I've actually found out who the VP of the label is. So I need to backtrack that. And then also, don't take the bait.
Yeah. And good point.
That's one thing I've very much learned about Twitter.
Yeah, because that's what they casting it out there for you to take it. Yep. So social media, Malik, that's a whole nother. Again, we've done shows on that, but So in all this, right? So again, I'm going down memory lane, y'all. I started looking at all the topics that we've touched, all the people we've had on the show, and this is where I really got like, I felt good. We've touched on a lot of different stuff,
we have.
So I'm gonna read off some like we touched on fatherhood early on, mental health in the Black community, real estate home ownership, social media stuff, all kinds of social media stuff.
That we're still getting to.
Yeah, we ain't even covered that. It's an ongoing show. Credit repair. We talked about credit. We talked about money. We talked about mentoring, arts in the Black community, online dating. Remember we did the social experiment? Oh man. That was another wild show because I got in trouble for that one.
I know you did.
I said about online dating, and they came on the show and had some words they were not agreeing. We talked about Black love. We talked about Black students, college, grad school, grade school, all types. We talked about school in general, right?
College grad gang.
Yep.
Yes.
The value of Black people, entertainment and advertising and marketing. We've touched on all those things. Music, of course. A lot of business stuff. We talked about networking, communication in business, talked about entrepreneurship. We've done a lot of different things. It's brought on entrepreneurs and business people. Health and fitness. Again, a lot of things on health and fitness. Some things you can do. And then healthy lifestyle. We just recently had on every type, we've had some people talk about vegan stuff, food.
That kind of made me, man, that vegan episode, it made me change like a couple of things. Because I was just like,
things that make you think, right? That's what it was all about. The Rona, of course. Most of this year. Bob's and Karen's. We talk about the
Bob's and
Karen's. That's not a segment. ADOS, a lot of politics stuff, police protocol stuff, what to do when you get pulled over. We did that recently. Being vulnerable, being Black men being vulnerable, being able to open up and share. Man, we even did a show on the Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A sandwich debate.
Yo, I do.
Leadership in the Black community, Black spending power. And another one, which I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I'm still struggling with, the death of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, man.
Like, and I'm not gonna lie, that show,
Yeah.
that one still, I still feel that one.
Yeah.
January, and I still feel that one.
Mm.
That's one I don't think I'm ever go back and listen to.
Mm.
Um, we did
I
that.
get it.
We did a show on sex workers. Remember that? That was
Yeah.
the 250.
That was wild.
We've talked about everything, y'all.
Man, that was a great episode.
This is just some. This is not even all of them. This is just some of the variety of topics we talked about. You know, that's a that's a lot. 70 plus
It
episodes.
is.
I think this is 74. I believe this is number 74.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years, 74 shows. We started off twice a week. Now we're at once a week on Mondays. We put this out Tuesday. It's a lot, and I personally feel like we're just scratching the surface. I know there's some things like that I've been kind of holding off on even getting out there, for a lot of different reasons. But young people, like,
it's because we got plans.
We got plans. So all those shows, man, like we talked about so much. These are things that I always felt like in our community. These are things that we're talking about directly. These are conversations we had. And I always wanted to, one thing I was, again, happy about is that when we had a lot of these conversations, we got help.
Right.
We brought on people who were either experts in what they do, or people who were in their industry. This is what they did. They were knowledgeable, and we were able to bring them on so that they can share, so that it didn't come from us. And now, again, for a lot of different reasons. One, we
can't speak on everything.
Can't speak on everything. But also, two, not only do we bring people on to share, to promote their businesses.
Yep.
To, again,
promote their platforms.
Yep. To go back to the root of Tyrone Coles. Who are the people in their community that are doing their thing? So we've had a lot of guests on. Again, I'm going through the list, and I went back and pulled up the names, and I'm probably missing some, y'all. So if I miss anybody, but I did want to shout out the guests.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take this time.
Shouts to all y'all.
Shout outs to all y'all. So I'm gonna go through the names that I was able to find. So again, starting off, David 2K.
Hey.
King Stay Low, my man. We talked about he talked about, working with the young people in DC and the city. Being an artist as well too, the rap artist. That's my man. Hope you're doing well, man. We gotta catch up. Sammy, we brought Sammy on talking about a lot of different things from, just lifestyle, love, and things like that. That's my homegirl too. We talk about, like, I remember, so I'm just going through names. I'm just remembering some of these shows. Yemi Aja, Yemi, that's my man. Love, he's been on a couple times. It's Latoya Douglas. What's going on, girl? They talking about health and fitness and just, living a healthy lifestyle and things like that.
Yep.
Miss Tori came on. Tori, hey, we did.
Tori.
Man, that was fun. That's my home.
It was.
Terry came on, shared her story about her weight loss journey and how she's doing now, and she's great, and the confidence and just woman empowerment. And now she's got her own little things going on in her business. We were just crushing the pies a couple of weeks ago. She's making the pies, so shout out to her again. That's fam.
I don't think about that pie.
Man, that pie. Don't tempt me, man. I'm about to get another one. Ain't nothing but a phone call away. But
Let me know.
Yeah, we ate pies on the show. That was fun, man. Who else is doing that? Ain't nobody else doing that. Yeah.
Y'all ain't eating pies on your shows?
You ain't eating sweet potato pies. What y'all know about that? On air.
Y'all eat pumpkin pie.
Y'all eat pumpkin. Y'all eat apple, man. You eat sweet potato over here. Shout out to Terry.
Shout out to Terry.
Shout out to Terry, man.
What are we doing?
I'm having fun. That's what I'm, like, again,
Yeah,
we're pushing boundaries out here. You know, we're breaking down barriers. You know, no one
absolutely.
would dare
That's
eat.
why we're here.
No one would dare muffle their voice and eat and look ugly while you eating and chewing on a show. We do
Absolutely.
that. We do that here.
Yep.
Lonzo Marshall, Zoe, my man Zoe.
Hey, so
So he's
yes.
been on a couple times, man, and shout out to everything he's doing, just being a proud dad and business owner. And Zoe Speed, his business is doing well. He's working with young people, and you know, talking about like when I look at Zoe, who not only is my old like an old friend, but like guys like Zoe, Mike Evans, who also came on. You know, like,
shouts to Mike.
shouts to Mike, yo, love y'all, and that like to me, that's the root of Tyrone Coast. These guys they're in the community. They're doing it. You know, not asking for much. They just want to be able to help. They want to be able to give back. You know, DMV Hype, Mike Evans, Zoe Speed, Lonzo, like, and you know, dads. Like I said, these are men in the community doing their thing now, giving back.
Right.
You know, so shout outs to them. Of course, one of my favorite people on this planet is Grace. Shout outs to
Big Sis.
Shout outs to Big Sis.
Because I don't think that we'd be here right now if it wasn't for her.
I wouldn't. Like, I really believe that. Like, I wouldn't. And I know I told this story when she was on, but without Grace, there wouldn't have been a lot of the previous projects that we did before, which kind of was like the predecessor kind of gave me the platform and the know-how to be able to do this. So she will forever hold a special place in my heart. And she's just one of the best people, you know, in the world. She is. Like,
she is. I mean, she's okay. Nah, it's fine. But I mean, she's my sister, so you gotta cut her down a little bit.
Nah, I mean,
can't let her have a big head.
You better watch your back before she snuff you and you know catch you that look with.
Why don't you just barge in and be like, "Hey, what you talking about?"
But you put that Ving Rhames
be in a headlock.
Baby boy up. You think you everything cool? You're gonna sneak up on you with the headlock. Grace actually came on again, ate on the show. Foodie, we ate, you know, talked about like, you know, the foodie scene with black people and how she's you know really doing it.
Right. Just seasoned well.
Shout outs.
Shout outs to her.
Yeah, we're gonna have more conversations on that in the upcoming shows. Macau came on, talked about, you know, the importance of preparing your credit, knowledgeable, you know, educating yourself on some of those topics. That was a good show. I think that was as good to the educate.
That was a great show. I remember
learn about some of those things, you know. So
shout outs to Kyle.
Yeah, because again, these conversations aren't had all the time. Yonda Powell talked about the real estate, you know. Came on and really broke down again, learned a lot about black, you know, how black people can not only get into real estate but home ownership. And some of the tips and tips and tricks and things like that to be able to get yourself closer to home ownership. That's a show that I've actually sent people to. People ask them like, yo, go listen to this. We had some experts on and they really talked about, and they really shared things that I remember we were sitting there like, I gotta take notes. I gotta write this down.
Right.
You know, like that was a big show. Chip Baker, Dr. Oliver Reed, two my brothers. Shout out to Chip. Chip is a friend. Chip is down in the Houston area. I think he's outside like Waco. Dr. Oliver Reed, the relationship architect. Both authors, the three of us were part of a group. We co-authored a book, Suited for Success. It is a bestseller. They have gone.
I wish I had it right now.
Oh, why don't
so I can pull it out?
On the plug.
Hold up.
See? But those two guys, they've also gone on to write a series of books.
Oh, look at this! Oh, snap! Wait, what?
Okay.
What? Hold on. Hold on.
Is that a book, man?
Yo, I just found this book.
Random book.
What is this? What is this?
Oh, man. Shout out to Suited for Success, man. PK Kersey brought us all together.
Absolutely.
So that's, you know, excited about that. So shout outs to PK.
Shout outs to PK.
Yeah, Dr. Oliver, like I said, they came on. And not only just, you know, like I said, they're authors, multiple time authors, multiple bestsellers,
Mm-hmm.
but also great men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talked about, being able to work together and building together and what that process looks like. So
Right.
guys that I still look up to, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I see them, I still draw inspiration from them. So I appreciate them so much.
Right.
Um,
And we have one of those authors right here. Hold on.
who? Hold on. I don't see
Hold
no.
on. Kenny, didn't you write something in this book? Didn't you write? Didn't you have an expert?
I
An
wrote like a
excerpt in
sentence.
this?
I wrote like a sentence in it. Ain't nothing.
Man, you had a whole section. What you talking about?
I just wrote like a sentence. I ain't write nothing.
Man,
I just, I mean, I work with great people. I work with real brothers, and that's what I'll say. And I just hope it helped. I hope anyone who read that, not just from my part, but from all of ours.
right.
And not to get too far in the book, but like, yeah, this check it out. It's a good book though, not just for me, but for like, there's real men talking about some real stuff in that book, real brothers. So I still read it, and I read their parts. You know what? To be honest,
Absolutely.
I've never read my part.
Mm.
I never went back and read it. I wrote it, I sent it, never read it again because I've read everyone else's. So yeah,
Right.
but just so those guys came on, good people. A couple of my favorite people, Olivia Baylor, who is a Black therapist, actually owns um um owns a company, yeah,
Right.
yeah, in the Baltimore area. To the mental health field, employs a lot of other Black and minority people. So shout outs to her. That's one of my favorite people on earth. We go back.
Shout outs to her.
Shout outs to Yendi.
Yendi.
Yen, man. Again, one of my closest friends.
Shout outs to you.
Who's been on the show several times. Who, I've always appreciated because she's always able to share her opinion. Whenever we need a female perspective, she's been there for a lot of times. Even when she didn't want to show her face, I was like, cool.
Which we totally understand.
Yeah, because sometimes you got gotta make sure
dudes be thirsty.
You gotta make sure that make sure he's right. So I feel that sometimes. So no, but shout out to Yendi. I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time. Some of these people they'll be back.
Right.
Oh yeah. And then Nara, who just came, was that last week 2 weeks ago? Shout outs to Nara, who a new member of the family. Really put us on to a lot of the vegan hair and skin and stuff like that. Products. Gave us a lot to think about. For real. And I've really been
had me switch some products around.
Yeah,
honestly, had me thinking different.
Yeah. Marcus Blake, former officer Marcus, came on. And again, I think that was another episode I had really been looking forward to doing for a while because I wanted to be able to share with Black people about, one, what's going on with police, and two, what do you do when you're in that situation, when you get pulled over? What's happening? What is the rationale? What are they thinking? So if y'all didn't get a chance, y'all need to go back and listen to that episode. I think it's called Interview with a Police Officer. Marcus Blake, Black police officer, former police officer, who was able to give good insight on what's going down, what's happening, and some of the things you should do. That was a powerful show. One of those ones I had targeted, like, I'm gonna wait for the right situation for this one. And then Dash. Good job, though, man. I had almost forgotten that Dash. We interviewed him for Community Coalition show first. I almost forgot. For those who don't know, me and David also do a music podcast called Reason to Rhyme. After he came on Community Coalition show, because he's a big music fan, and he put us on to his brother,
who also produces,
who also a music producer, and now they're part of our other podcast. And we review music. Once a month they come on. We're part of the review crew, and we review music. So I had forgotten. I was like, oh, because sometimes it's like you forget like how you come across people, you meet people,
right?
But because Dash and Daniel are like family now,
they are.
You get like how you meet sometimes. So as I was going through the episodes, I was like, oh, totally forgot.
Mm-hmm. And shouts to Kenny for starting the Reason and Rhyme podcast.
Reason to Rhyme, man. Well, I'm not gonna take all the credit because that was both of us for real. You know, like I think it just, and again, I forgot how that started. We actually did a community coalition show on music. I don't know if you remember, that was one of the early ones too.
I do remember that.
It was like, well, we talk about music. We like music. Why don't we just do a music podcast?
Right.
And
yep,
here we are. So
that's what we do. We do that too throughout the week.
We do that. Yep. So, you know, shout outs to all the people. Again, if I miss, I almost did. Chelsea and Chanel Abrams, Abrams sisters, who again they came to the crib. Really talked about the importance of money management, insurance, home ownership. They have a lot of expertise in a lot of different things. They're amazing women. And they really came on and put us on game to a lot of different topics. That was another good one. That was one, again, if you want to learn something, you want to hear something you probably haven't heard before that may help you, go back to that. I think it's called Interview with Abrams Sisters. I think that's what the title is. These shows, and again, I hope it don't sound like I'm tooting my horn, but I mean our horn, but I go back. I went back and looked at these, like, one for a personal standpoint. A lot of these people, if I didn't know them before, I know them now. And we have real relationships now. So even for me, this show has been important to my life because I've met so many good people. Good people. All these people we just listed, those are good Black people, y'all. I ain't got a whole bunch of crazies. We ain't having crazies up on here, you know. We ain't got a whole bunch of wild and outs. These are good people, man, who really are trying to help others and really trying to help their community. That's the one thing these people have in common. Everybody out there, I'm looking at this list, and they're all doing good work in their community in a variety of different topics. They're trying to share. They're trying to help through their businesses, through their ventures. You know, like.
At the end of the day, we're all trying to, like, one thing I always say, like, when it's like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
I'm trying to change the world.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what we're doing.
And that's what these people are doing. One person at a time, one child at a time,
one podcast at a time.
One podcast at a time, one book at a time. Like, you know, like one client at a time. Everything. These people are doing, you know, all types of stuff.
Right.
And they're out there and they're trying to share. And that's why, like, one, you know, we can ask people to come on. There have been some people who didn't, but then these people actually made the choice and say, you know what? Yeah. So I appreciate them for believing in this platform. You didn't have to do it. I ain't twist nobody's arm, even though some people I love. I never just force people. I'm not about that. So I was in the invitation. And if you want to, cool. If not, I still love you. Ain't you know, no love lost.
Ain't nothing. It's all good.
Yeah, but just people I've met, you know, the people we've come across. And again, I look at some, you know, what the show has done for this relationships. I look at some of the people who have been on and they are doing things just from this, you know, and to me, that's so cool. Like, just to have a platform where people can come together. Dope, you know?
Right.
So that's one of the, you know, as I look at this list and this list of people I just went through, like, I am extremely proud of that. I am. That's one thing I would say I'm proud of. People, that's community. Again, it goes back to the mission. It goes back to the root of Tyrone Coles. One thing I also said too when I started this, I said I don't want celebrities. I don't want famous people. I don't want a whole bunch of athletes. I didn't want it to be that kind of show. But again, you hear those stories. You know who they are. You get that all the time. Let's focus on the people who are really on the ground level, you know? Really grassroots. One of the things I always say about myself, I always want to be grassroots, you know? And that doesn't mean that you got to be like broke. That just means that I want to have my ear to the ground. I want to have my boots on the ground because that's where I'm best, you know? And these people, they all have an element of that. They out here, they talking to people, they try and make it happen. So I appreciate that. To me, that's I can't wait to see in a year, 2 years, 5 years what this list is gonna look like. The topics,
Right.
I look at, like I said, we talk about all kinds of stuff. We didn't talk about some crazy stuff. We've had some hard conversations.
Yeah.
We have, but we've also had some fun stuff.
A
You know,
lot of fun stuff.
we have fun stuff. We have fun doing this. This has been like our therapy. We always talk. We always
Absolutely.
Um. So yeah, 2 years, man.
2 years.
Um.
Add to 200 more.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, man.
Right.
So actually, I thought that was going to take a lot longer. We had an hour 5, but okay. But a couple things I did want to, I still want to mention. I know, like I said, the actual anniversary is Thursday. So if you're listening to this now, we're going to do things throughout the week. I think on the actual day, I know we're going to do
actual. We're probably going to do like some. We're probably going to have some like watch parties, do some lives, try to tap in.
Yeah, I think they have live. There's some stuff I'm gonna wait to cover. I don't want to do it right now. I'm gonna wait for then on the actual day. And we're gonna kick back. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna celebrate this. This
Absolutely.
This has been motivation to keep going. Like I said, I'm energized now. I'm like, damn, I can't wait till next week. Can't wait to see what we're gonna do. So, and I know I wrote it earlier. I put it in the post earlier, but I did want to tell you how much I appreciate you.
Man, go.
Told you, man, don't get me started, man. I'm vulnerable.
Man, no, I appreciate you.
But this show wouldn't be what it is without you. Support, input, your knowledge, the fun, all this stuff. Like, and like I know it's a grind for you too. Like, you have to commit to this. This is, we doing this at least Community Coalition show Monday nights.
Yeah.
Sometimes other days. We try to link up. We try to talk and plan as much. We're coming up with topics. We know we're doing things. So it is commitment, and it's not always easy. So
then
you got to put up with me.
That's
I'm
true.
all over the place sometimes. I mean, oh man.
No, but like you're not the most difficult person to work with.
I try not to be, but there been
like I've definitely worked with like difficult people, and like I feel like I'm one of those difficult people that I work with, but also like I've definitely worked with difficult people, like controlling people. Like it's not a thing that like goes away after school, which is sad.
True, because that's a personality thing. You know what? Table that. That might be a topic in a couple weeks.
Hey, when did y'all have to do group projects and you saw somebody not pulling their weight?
Not pulling the weight, or the overbearing person that just would try to take over everything, wouldn't listen to nobody.
Right.
Yeah,
I've dealt with a couple of those.
Yeah, don't get me started. Made my head hurt. But all jokes aside, like, let's keep this thing going, man. Community Coalition show, we doing our thing. So that was my stroll down memory lane. Did anything come up for you? Would you
well, I mean, let me just say to you, I'm very grateful. Thank you for bringing me on to this, because like once I actually started understanding what podcasting was, I was like, oh, this is super dope. It would be really cool to do one of these.
You ain't learned that from me. I was like, we just gonna do it. We just gonna do it.
Like but that's exactly what we've done.
Yeah.
Like we've figured it. We're still figuring it out, but we're going.
Yeah.
Like this has been such a dope process.
It has been. And if anyone had told me, like, again, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like you be like this deep into like media, like I thought my creativity would have been elsewhere in other things.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have thought it would have been this. Not at all. Not at all. You know, even coming from BMV magazine, I thought that was going to be like it. I thought I was going to do other things.
Right.
But now here we are. Black Squirrel Media Network. Like,
bro, I remember when you brought me on as a writer for BMV magazine.
remember? Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yep.
You let me write an article.
Still there. Do you? Did I give you that copy? Do you have that?
I don't. But the fact that no, but like I think about that all the time. I think about like I was writing articles for a magazine, and like they were from my own perspective.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so dope. And like I remember the picture that I still go back to that picture that you took of me when I was holding the magazine, and it said my name on there. And it was literally something I wrote, and it came from my heart, and like it was just a very humbling moment for me. So like that was in a magazine, and like that's published. So technically, I'm a published writer.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing?
Yeah, that last part. That was the goal. How can we put people again? The people around us who have all these skills and these talents. What can we do to help them? How can we promote them? How can we provide a platform that they can cultivate and grow?
Absolutely.
Like I've always had the mindset of a coach. I was an old basketball coach, and the coach, it's like you have a coaching tree. If you ever hear about like coaching trees, where it's like a coach, and then you have these assistants under you, and then these people they grow and become their own coaches. And then they have assistants, and that's how it keeps growing. You keep building, and you keep bringing the people up. Teach them, train them, so that they can go do. That's like, even though I know we're sharing and we're talking about podcasts, we're talking about topics, I've still always been a believer that the people around you, how can you help them grow?
Right.
No reason like one day you sprout, you do your thing, whatever that is, but you're doing your thing. You know, like. Once you learn how to do it, it's like, okay, go. I look at it like your children. Your kids aren't going to stay kids forever. Right. At some point, they become adults and they got to get out there. Our job is to teach them and help them build and help them grow so that they're, one, ready to go when it's time. But two, once they get out there, they can hold their own and handle their business. That's what it's about to me. So everything we do, even with this stuff, like, that's the goal to me. So
the goal is to educate and put people on.
Yeah. So not
get people heard.
Not to get too sentimental, before we really start crying. But yeah, so I keep saying it, 2 years. I'm excited for the future. We'll see where this goes. You never know. And we have total control over this. And that's another thing.
Yep.
We own this.
Black owned. What's up?
So you can't cancel us. All you can do is just not tune in.
I mean, you can cancel us. It's not gonna work.
Ain't gonna work. That's another thing I'm proud of too. Like again, now we can begin to go back and teach how to do this. That's why I'm proud of the Black Squirrel Media Network, because that's what it's all about. How can we promote the podcasters, the creatives who are just like we were like a year or two ago? How can we get them to the point where they're looking at this as an entity that they can own and build on and use as an asset and things like that?
Right.
Yeah. We got a lot of work to do, y'all. So let's not hold y'all for too much longer.
Wait, hold on.
But
we kind of have some Bobs and Karens.
You know what? Yeah. While we here, you know what? Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Let's throw a couple out there. Because we did miss last week.
True.
Yeah. So let's talk about what was it? It was the lady. There was a Karen at Starbucks. She was talking to a cashier. She was trying to talk to a cashier. She kept taking her mask down to talk to her.
Yeah.
The baristas kept telling her, "Hey, can you please keep your mask on? There's Rona out there." And she kept pulling down her mask, and they had to ask her to leave.
Yeah.
And then she started crying victim.
Yeah. No, I remember that one. So again, customer was white, barista was black. And I remember watching it because the lady was being mad. Like the lady went in there, it seemed like she was looking for a fight.
Right.
Barista was nothing but nice, nothing but kind. And then she just kept saying the same things, you know. She said, like, ma'am, I can't serve you if you don't have a mask on. Very calm. Right. Ma'am, I can't. You don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. And that. So she kept going off. But barista, she was doing what she was trained and told to do. She didn't pop off. She didn't get loud. She didn't start waving her hands. She kept it calm and she kept it professional. Again, I was proud of her for that because I know that's hard, man. That's hard. We wanted to go after people, man. We wanted to choke them out. And I'll be wanting to choke them out. But
hey, it's happened, and the workers have not gotten fired. So,
it happened because like
you know. So hey, if you gotta punch someone out, if situation gets to that point, and we're not condoning violence here.
Well, some of them were self-defense. Like the dude, they put their hands on them first and stuff, and at that point, you're getting backhanded to next week. Yeah. You getting popped, you getting a little pat for that real quick.
Pat.
Yeah, maybe a little choke slam. You getting kicked for that, you know. One girl got chased and got hawked and got beat in the back of the head for it. I saw one time. But you put your hands on somebody at that point. So when you cross the line, you're gonna get your comeuppance.
Right.
Oh yeah, so I did see that one, and homegirl kept it professional. I think lady went in there looking for a fight. I really do. Like some of these Karens, they picking fights. They use the system.
Oh, some of these bobs are too.
Some of the bobs.
Like let's talk about the policeman that yelled Trump 2020 on his speaker.
Yeah, heard about that.
That was crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Again, these people, we can't sit here in front and act like they ain't been in power the last 4 years.
Right.
I think that there's a direct correlation. You can't convince me otherwise. Like, we ain't seen this stuff before, but now with current leadership and the orange guy running around, they feel bold. They feel empowered. They feel like they can do whatever they want and they're going to get away with it. So they're going to get theirs.
We got to hold these people accountable.
Got to hold them accountable. And they getting caught up. They getting theirs. So once the orange guy goes away, hopefully in the next couple weeks, they going to start crawling back under their hole.
Right.
Like they've been.
Also, hope you voted.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk here before you say that, was that New York passed the Karen law?
Oh, that was California.
That's California.
Hey, California. Yes. Gang.
Because
I think even more specifically, San Francisco.
See, there you go.
They passed the Karen
Act. It was I think it was Karen Act. So which pretty much said people that have been calling the police just for Black people existing in like public, literally just existing in public, that can now be a felony. Yeah.
Sorry, it could be. I'm not sure if it's a felony, but it can be. You can get in trouble for that, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know if did they say it may be considered a hate crime or something. I think it's something like that, like a false police report. Yeah, things like that. So pretty much they're trying to find ways to legislate some of these things, some of these issues.
Right.
But like,
y'all Karen and Bobs are crazy.
On the random cops on people that are committing crimes. That is a false report. That is a hate crime.
Barbecuing for
standing
for literally trying to bring someone their food.
Yeah, for being in this house by your own house. So at some point,
and having other people come into your house, being all like, "Yo, who live here?"
Yeah. So at this point, I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction. Is it the end all be all? No, but step in the right direction. So let's see if other areas, let's see if other states fall in line, because it's a step to hold people accountable. You can't just be calling the cops on Black people for no reason, and be lying about it and stuff. So,
kudos
when
it's on video.
Yeah, kudos to the Bay Area. You know, gotta try
Mhm.
something. So yeah. So all that, man. I think
Mhm.
yeah. And then again, we got an election in less than 2 weeks. Um,
Yep.
handle your business, y'all.
Yep.
Handle your business.
Also, be safe.
Yeah, because we already know it's going to be some madness.
Mhm.
But when you go to vote, if you haven't already done so, when you go to the polls, they're already about the madness. You know what's coming, y'all.
Right.
Expect it at this point, but don't let it stop you.
Mhm.
Stop you. Get out there and vote. Do let's do what we gotta do. And like I said, there's a lot of things to vote for. I went through my ballots. I did my research. I turned my stuff in, and one thing I remember, like voting, was there's a lot of other things on the table. It's not just about the president. That's a part, but there's a lot of local stuff, y'all. Pay attention to the local elections. Pay attention to the local politics. Pay attention to what's happening directly in your communities. Okay,
Got to.
we have to. If you don't know, like Google it,
Mhm.
research something.
Yeah.
Don't just go in blind. Don't just go in there and pick. I don't know. Um, for me, honestly, because there were some things people I saw I still wasn't sure of, and I consider myself somewhat knowledgeable, pretty knowledgeable, right? I said, you
Mhm.
know what? Oh, I can Google this person's name real quick. Let me look at this real quick.
Right.
Read about them real quick. Okay, I know what they
Mhm.
about. Bet. You know, something that simple. Oh,
Right.
um, and again, I know before the election, we're probably gonna have this conversation again. But
Mhm.
while it's coming, y'all, don't wait
Yep.
till the last minute. Early voting is happening in a lot of places. Handle your business. Okay.
And early voting in Maryland, where we are,
Yep.
has started.
That
So
started.
if you're here,
Yeah. One of my biggest
go
gripes,
vote.
especially with black people, and I'm gonna say this, like, don't
Always wait
gripe.
till the last second.
Well, not even that. Don't gripe and complain from the sidelines if you ain't participate.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna tell them, friends and family, I love y'all, and I'm telling everybody, like, if you ain't do your part, if you ain't vote, don't say nothing.
Mhm.
Don't say nothing. You have nothing to say about the outcome. So don't gripe and complain later. Okay.
Right.
Hopefully, we get out of some of this rut. It may not be perfect, but we gotta get rid of that orange guy. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Like,
Yeah.
and-
Oh, nah, I'm with you. We got to.
yeah, but if you ain't doing your part, and even like I said, local stuff, whatever. If you ain't doing your part, don't say nothing.
Mhm.
Like, I'm tired of hearing that stuff. So on that note,
You got to be better, and to be better, you got to do better.
yeah,
That's it.
let's all do our thing. So 2 years, man. I keep saying it. I'm
2
excited.
years.
We're celebrating all week, y'all. Look for the posts, look for things going on. Like I said,
Absolutely.
today we're gonna be live all over the place. You're gonna see us this week. And
Mhm.
also too, if you're listening, if you're watching this, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
When did you
How y'all
start?
feel about us for going 2 years?
Yeah, when did you start getting on? When was your favorite show? What did y'all get
Yeah.
into? Let us know how you feel. Let us know your thoughts, man. That's good to hear too. Again, if we participate back.
Mhm.
Um, but until next week, um,
We love y'all.
we love you and
Yeah.
peace.
Peace.